Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. So what do we do with the stock market here? Well, one of the things that I like is just kind of looking for setups that are clean. And right now, one of the cleanest setups isn't in the stock market itself, but in TLT, which is a precursor to the bonds. And so we've had a couple of buy signals here. Here's the last one. And so with this, there's a couple of different ways to play this. One of the nice things about something like TLT is that the implied volatility on it is pretty low. So what you can do is actually go out pretty far and it's reasonable. It's not like you're paying $50 for an option. So with this one, I've gone out to the January 132 calls that are in the money. And let's see, we did the 132s and then some of the shorter term ones, or February calls as well. And the idea is just to be patient and then hold on to these. And then if you want to be more aggressive with this, you can do this as well in the futures markets. I like the 30-year bonds here, and this is just a combination of futures and then options on futures, and then just sitting on those. And then, of course, if you guys are familiar with euro dollars, not the currency, but euro dollars. You can also trade those as well. And basically, all of those are nice because you've got a market right now where bonds and interest rate products, the interest rates are headed back lower, which is pushing bonds higher. And what's interesting right now is that the bonds are going higher with the stock market. So what I like about this is that we have the potential of getting another move like this, which was fantastic, and that taking us to new highs. All right, so that would be nice. But what's interesting about this is that, of course, you may have noticed that the S&Ps here have been very, very strong. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that this is a sustainable rally. I think at some point, dare I say, that we get a pullback. Well, what's nice about the bond market right now is they're moving higher with stocks. So what I have seen in a situation like this is when bonds and stocks are moving higher together, even if stocks should pull back, bonds still go higher. Okay, and so that's something I found pretty useful. And so something I found useful in this kind of a situation is simply having some buy and sell, using some algorithms with some specific buy and sell signals. So it allows us, like this is a buy signal on stocks. We haven't received a sell signal yet, right? So it allows us to stay in these trades as long as possible. I'll show you a shorter term one I did on Friday with my son, my 9-year-old. Well, first of all, we had a buy signal in Restoration Hardware. But we didn't get in it here. We got into it after the news here. So we drilled down to, I think it was a 5-minute chart on Friday. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so right in here. So we got in Friday near the close and then held on and flipped it out this morning. And he gets a 10% cut of any trade ideas that he finds. And so this is what we did with Restoration Hardware and set it up, and it was good for $27,000 off of a 5-minute chart. So that kind of stuff is fun. So what is this stuff? So these, what I would just simply call algorithmic type trading signals, is what I call the 10x formula on steroids. For those of you that are not familiar with this at all, then I certainly encourage you to sign up for the free webinar I'm going to be doing tomorrow, Tuesday, November 19th at 7 o'clock Central. And then if you are familiar with the 10x bars, I want to show how I've combined them with something else and then boosted it from there so we can actually trade what I call these not only stock of the day type moves in things like Roku, Tesla, and like that trade I just did, I showed you on Restoration Hardware. That's what I call that stock of the day. And how do you get into those things and actually just flow with the tape, okay, without getting caught on the wrong side of it? Well, this is how you do it. But at the same time, just like those moves in TLT in the bond market, where you're just kind of going with the flow. What'll happen when there's a lot of volatility, the markets don't quiet down for a squeeze. As you guys know, I love squeezes, but if the markets are really volatile and going back and forth, you ain't going to get a squeeze, all right? And so you've got to have some type of algorithmic, non-emotional buy and sell signals to get you in and to get you out, okay? So a couple things with that. A, you don't get run over, you don't get that deer in the headlights. But really what you're doing with this is just submitting your will to that of the market. All right. There's no reason to come into a trade with a preconceived notion of how much is enough. If you've gotten to the habit of every time you make $500, you take the profit out of nervousness, there's no reason you can't make a couple $1,000s on that trade as long as you have the confidence to keep staying in it. All right, and if you have something like this, it's not emotional. It tells you when to stay in it. All right, and it tells you when to get out. And I think it's pretty fantastic. So I will take a deep dive into this on Tuesday, November 19th, 7 o'clock Central. And you can go to simplertrading.com/steroids. That's awesome. And sign up, and you'll get all the information that you need to sign on for the class. Okay, I've completed all my sentences there. All right, you guys have a great night, and looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday.